Welcome, my beautiful Pisces and those intuitively guided. This is your February 2026 tarot reading. Forgot what year it was for a second. And again, it's for Pisces of all placements and definitely those intuitively guided. And Pisces, I want to start your reading by just telling you some things I picked up from our guides, because I do read through, well, my spirit guides connect with yours, and I think we're all one big soul family anyway. So, as I was pre-shuffling, that's just when I'm meditating, opening myself up to the messages, and what I got is this is not going to be one of those, or this is going to be, what am I saying? This is going to be one of those right now type of readings. So there could be some urgency in there. We'll see. But Spirit is revealing if something has been hidden, why? Why has it been hidden? Also, why some of you may have like had recent your emotions may have felt intense lately, but it's because something is coming into clarity. So oftentimes when you feel that way, it's preparing you. So we'll see what it's preparing you for. By the way, I have the romance angels out also in case love comes to the picture. But when doesn't it for you? So the last thing I want to say is I feel like if you were pulled or guided here, this reading is not random for you. So buckle in and let's go to the tarot cards and our guides. So we will give Mother Mary the honor of opening up your reading. We will use the crystal vision to go deeper. And deep we go. We're going to stick with the Tarot of Dreams for the main spread. And I'm going to bring the lid down. And we're going to go ahead and just open up this reading. I feel an urgency to get your reading started also. And by the way, I'm not feeling anything negative. Um, and my guides are very good at like putting the emotion within me that I'm about to feel. And I have to say, I don't feel anything negative. Doesn't mean there isn't anything, you know, that you're trying to overcome or what have you. But I feel like if that's the case, you're going to find your answer today. I really feel like a lot of you are going to find your answers. Let's just put it that way. So, well, that did not take long. I was just about to say Mother Mary for Pisces, but they know, right? They're here with us. Interesting. Present moment. Present moment. I'm going to bring this lid up just a little bit. I am fully present in the here and now. Why is that so important? Well, number one, think about judgment. When judgment comes out in a reading, it's asking you to bring your attention to the here and now because there's guidance about to happen. Signs are about to be sent, and this is where they're sent. And I don't know why all of a sudden I'm thinking of like the Knight of Pentacles, where at our table I call this knight our guardian angel. And I don't know why I'm thinking of him other than I know that that night brings in its blessing in the right time, not before, not after. So I just have a feeling. I just have a feeling. And then we have boundaries. I am clear and honest with others about my expectations. No guessing. These are my boundaries. If you cross them, you already know what's going to happen. So don't cross them. You know, I like that. This is not the Eight of Swords where it's like a self-created prison. This is where I feel like you have more clarity than ever. Like, and I'm sure it came from your past experiences. But again, Spirit is calling you to the present. So boundaries are in place, and think of boundaries like the Empress, who trusts her intuition more than anyone. And she is very loving and nurturing. However, she's very powerful and strong. And one of the main reasons why is her intuition. Like, she can read energy. She puts up boundaries. And if anything negative tries to enter into her energetic field, all the alarm bells will go off. So it's almost like it doesn't even get a chance to reach her or him. And here I am talking about cards that aren't even on the table yet, but I feel them. So it'll be interesting if we actually get them. Let's give them each a little crystal. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the main spread with the Universal Tarot. Again, everything is always pre-shuffled. I just like to give it a shuffle with you here also, though. So this is an actual spread. I'm sure many of you have seen it already. It's called the Celtic Cross, and it has different positions. I do put them face down because I like the mystery of uncovering your story, your movie. Remember, this is your book. This is your story. And you are the writer. You are the author or the producer. And when you think in those terms, like, wait a minute, this is my life. And this is it. Like, no wonder I feel like some are putting up boundaries. Like, this is my life. And I like that you're saying that. Okay. So, number one is current energy. And I'm going to be excited to see that with present moment. And then we have what crosses it. So that can be beneficial. It can be something we need to look at. Then we have the subconscious mind, the past, your conscious mind, which mirrors the subconscious mind, as does your near future mirror the past, with this really bridging it. Then we have you, all about you, external influences, but it can be positive or something we want to look at. This is your hopes and your fears, and it can be both. Like, what I mean by that is some people want success, but yet are afraid of success. Or some people want love, but yet are still afraid of love. And I want to say, you want to match the energy of what it is you want to bring back. Okay, anyway, final outcome. Now, that final outcome can be changed, and that's exactly why we do these readings. So, give you an opportunity to change it if you want. Maybe nothing needs changed. And then I am going to use the crystal vision after this spread to really go deeper. So, and then we'll bring in the romance angels at the end if love comes up, but I'm already feeling it. So let's start with the current energy. The Four of Pentacles. About your foundation. You know, I want to remind you also the Four of Pentacles can talk about, if you just look at the image, like this person has their pentacles, but yet you want to make sure nobody else gets them. And, maybe it's because they worked hard for them. And I want to keep them. But This can be again like resistance to like outside ideas or, help, but maybe you don't need it. Okay, let's see what crosses it. Well, hello, victory and success. Do you know what it feels like? It feels like you're doing well or you're about to do well um, in your financial house, in your creative house, because this is victory and success. And it's the energy of other people looking up to you due to the action steps you yourself have taken. And by the way, I feel like if this has anything to do with like any type of healing, in any modality, um, then people will seek you out in this energy. They'll just seek you out. Hmm. Okay. Let's go to the subconscious mind. Well, hello, Temperance. Hello, Divine Timing. So, Temperance, her first message is patience. This is in your subconscious mind. Some of you, you're wishing for divine timing to be now. But then again, what did Mother Mary say? I need you in the present moment. So, I have a feeling divine timing is about to happen. What I love about Temperance is she really is mixing the loving waters, 2 cups. So we may be uncovering a soulmate here. And some of you this could be like you've been dreaming about it. I've been picking that up a lot. Like a lot of people are having dreams, as it relates to love, but the person in their dream is faceless. And I have a feeling that's on purpose. I have a feeling you get to feel it, but it may be different. Like, person may be different. Interesting. So, anyways, patience, but it's trusting in divine timing. Well, again, I feel like divine timing, it feels like it's here. I always want to go to the conscious mind, but let's go in order. Let's go to the past. King of Swords, who's he? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Doesn't have to be though. Boy, I feel like now I know why somebody put up boundaries. You know, uh, this king just makes me feel, well, it feels like he's aggressive. And it makes me like not want to be around him. I feel like this is someone who, man, when they speak, it's just like my way or the highway. This could have been, for some of you, like a narcissistic type of energy, and that could be why you're now creating that boundaries. But I do feel aggression with this king. I just do. Now, normally this king stands for integrity, truth, honor, something. Well, it's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling the opposite of that. Almost like he was meant to be in reverse. Okay. So we'll see who he is, but let's keep going. You know, and that may be part of it. Like some of you may find yourself like, I want to say all of a sudden doing very well. But as I say all of a sudden, I do feel like for some of you, like you've been laying the groundwork and you may have just started something and you might start to see that victory. And that may change your whole outlook. I'm not going to take your shit anymore, right? I don't need to take it. I can do well all on my own. And I hate to give him a bad rap already. It's just how I feel him, though. Okay, let's go to the conscious mind. Wow, Eight of Wands. To me, the Eight of Wands is like the law of attraction. What I think about, I bring about. And how interesting that it's mirroring Temperance. Am I thinking about love? But listen, it wouldn't be any old love because Temperance doesn't deal with any old love. She deals with soulmates. So something is telling me like this may be an answered prayer and it may be sooner versus later. And that may freak you out a little. But yet at the same time, I feel like that's what I want. Not to be freaked out, but I feel like you are manifesting soulmate. By the way, this is also number 8, and 8 stand for new beginnings. So this feels like a new beginning. And I also want to remind you, you can't really see it here, but like the way I see this is like 4 wands are going out into the universe, and those are your intentions. And then 4 wands are coming back. Well, that's your intention coming back. But it's got to be in the same vibrational energy as you. So, let's say that 4 of Pentacles, it is you strengthening your foundation and you're starting to find success and people are reaching out. And by the way, some of you have people reaching out anyway. And I mean like you don't have a business, but you're the person they go to. Hmm, that may be an idea, an epiphany. Okay. What I think about, I bring about, and how beautiful the temperance. Temperance is like patience, my child, right? But then Mother Mary is saying, okay, wait a minute, I need you now in the present moment. So I feel like patience you've had. Sorry. All right. Let's go to the near future. Ho, ho, ho. Pisces. How about the Knight of Cups? Unexpected couple fulfillment. I'm telling you, some of you are having your prayers answered. And, you know, this cup that this knight brings in, is this a soulmate? I would say yes, but I would also ask you to ask yourself, are you ready? Are you ready? Because there is something with this king, and I don't feel like this king has anything to do with this knight. I feel like this is yet to happen. And this is why you're being called to the present moment. This is unexpected, but yet at the same time, you'll just be at the right place at the right time. Even if it's like at home and your phone rings or who knows. I mean, we'll go deeper and we'll figure it out. And look at that victory and success also connecting you to that Knight of Cups. I feel like my Pisces have been evolving. I feel like, excuse me, your foundation may be stronger than ever. And I do feel for some of you, as it relates to this king in the past, it is because you're doing well now. And I do feel like I don't really need you. I don't really need you. I don't have to take your shit anymore. And they probably won't like that, but so be it. You know, I don't feel like they're a soulmate. So to me, they feel more free will. I don't even feel like karmic soulmate. I just feel like chances are it was just a free will decision. And I may have gotten caught in someone's web for a while, but I don't feel like you are anymore. Look at this, a 6 and a 4. 1. We're in a universal year 1. And by the way, and I know part of this is my fault, I feel like a lot of people expected January to be like producing immediately. But really, the year opens slowly because February into March is when I feel like the year, the alchemist energy, which we all carry now, really comes alive. So that it really is perfect timing for you. And speaking of you, let's go to you. 5 of Wands. Okay, so it's a 5. Who are you fighting with? I know who you're fighting with. This king. By the way, it does not have to be an air sign. And it can also be a queen. You know, if you're a male here, know that. Like, just put yourself, where you fit. So this is fighting. There's a lot of ego in this energy. This is the energy of no one wanting to back down. And honestly, I feel the answer to this is not allowing oneself to get pulled into that drama. And, you know, sometimes we want someone to acknowledge their ways. But if it's this kink, I don't feel like he'll do that. I feel like he would be like, what are you talking about? This is your fault when it's not your fault. Now, I'm not going to say you're innocent, because we're human. But I just feel like it's saying you got pulled into this drama. There was chances are a lot of fighting, ego, and because it feels like you're evolving, and I feel like for the majority of you who have dealt with this king, I feel like you know that you want change now. And here comes change. But this may be important because this is a 5. And you have an 8, a new beginning, also the number of infinity, as above, so below. Well, then what follows that? The Knight of Cups. So, why am I wasting my time with someone who's got nothing but ego? And if I'm expecting them to acknowledge their ways, you're not going to get it. They're too stuck in their ego. I got to be right. Well, you go right ahead and be right. And while you're right, I'm going to go on with my life. And so you do. All right, let's go to the external. Oh my God. Hello, Ace of Cups. This is in your external world. And how beautiful. Here's the Knight of Cups. Looking right over at the Ace of Cups. Like, this Knight of Cups is not kidding. Mother Mary's not kidding. Temperance isn't kidding. And you're not kidding. It's like it's clear what you want. But I feel it's more like the type of love you want. Why would I want to go back to this? I don't feel like you do. Or if you do, this reading may be for you. But look at that, the Ace of Cups. Wow. And by the way, it's a 1. Why am I saying that? because we're in the year of the magician, which is a one, because we're all the alchemist. One. I feel like I said one. Well, I just said it 4 times, so make a wish. Look at that. Temperance. Working in your subconscious mind. Probably helping you to clear and to understand like certain energy. And it's interesting because I feel like more work is being done spiritually in like the dream realm. So it's interesting because this is in a lot of readings where it's like within our sleeping time is when our guides are like really preparing us. And I definitely feel there's a few out there who've had that faceless dream. Well, here he is, or here she is. And boy, when this knight says, I bring a cup of fulfillment, this knight's not kidding. Look how quickly. Temperance doesn't mess around. And you're putting clear intentions out there. And the universe is picking them up. All right, let's go to your hopes and fears. Well, the whale, your destiny. Okay, first thing I'm feeling is some of you feel like you're not living your destined life. Or that's the fear, like, especially if you're back here with this king. Like, is this destined? Maybe some of you think it's karmic. And, I won't completely erase that from the table. I just don't feel that. But I always want you to trust your own intuition. Hmm. Now, as a hope, you may be hoping the divine timing is sooner versus later. Because remember, this is both your hopes and your fears. And it's right above the Ace of Cups. Like, I feel like divine is saying, now here is a love you can get behind. Here is a love that truly speaks to love. And I want to say, don't regret the past because it is the past that has taught you. And if this person carries narcissistic tendencies, you learn from that. And, that may be why those boundaries are being created. Like, I get you now. You're not here for me. You're not here to benefit my life. You're here to benefit your own life. Some of you may be wondering, when is that wheel going to turn? Well, you have everything to do with that. And that's not to put pressure on you. It's really to put power in you. That you can create. This Knight of Cups, unexpected. It could be anyone. But we know it's a soulmate. And I feel like, in the Eight of Wands, I'm putting my intentions out there. And I feel some of you are putting your intentions out for a high vibrational love. So what I would say is just be open to what comes back to you. You may know this person, it may be someone brand new, but the love that they're offering is true. I know that. I feel it. Some of you may wonder when I say I feel it, what do I mean? Well, I was blessed. And actually, I didn't even know this until I went through something quite life changing. This is when I actually saw two spirits collect my brother's body, and I saw his soul rise. And it just sent me on a whole new path completely, like night and day from what my life was to what my life is now. And I don't know why I'm telling you this. Why am I telling you this? Dang it, I don't know. All right, let's look at the final outcome. Well, hello, judgment. Pisces, you are being called to the present moment, and that's that. This is about a rebirth. And judgment tells you, I can only reach you in the present moment. The signs that you're looking for, they're not in the past, they're not in the future, they're in the here and now. This is great energy to know that you are being guided, that you can put your trust within your spiritual team. And if this is destined, which with the wheel, the Ace of Cups, the Knight of Cups, the Eight, all of this, kind of, it feels destined, then you don't have to worry about it. It'll show in its right time. It'll be the right person. You're not alone. Keep that in mind. You're not alone. And by the way, let's say you're not clear yet with, or you're not really good yet with picking up signs. Like, was that a sign? That's okay. I mean, I've done that a million times. Like, was that a sign? If that was a sign, send it again. But make it so I can't deny it. They will. Wow. So I had a feeling we were going to talk about love, but I wasn't even expecting to this extent. You have very few negative cards, let's say. And the main one is the Five of Wands. But your judgment asking for change. This Five of Wands must belong to this king because there's nowhere else it would fit. All right. Let me just change my chair or change my position. And let's look at the bottom of the deck. Okay, well, at least let's look at the bottom of the deck. Eight of Swords. Oh my gosh. With the Nine of Swords right below that. King of Pentacles below that. So, self-created prison. This is really where we put up walls. These are not boundaries. These are walls. It's on the bottom of the deck. And I feel like the truth is, I feel like this 8 belongs in reverse. At least now. Maybe because this is what wants to go. 8 of Swords with the 9 of Swords. Worry, worry, worry. Someone is causing a lot of worry. It may be very difficult with their communication. Could be, and it doesn't have to be one person. This could be like just people and the way they talk to me. And I think it's fine to, create your own little prison for a little while. But the truth is, she's not facing something and she's not trusting her intuition. That is the difference of the Eight of Swords. Like, I create this when I'm not trusting my intuition. And then that Nine of Swords, worry, like all day long. And maybe it's a worry of of a change. Maybe you're worried of freeing yourself. But the Nine of Swords speaks of unnecessary worry. This is the worry the divine would say, hand it over to me. You can't control it anyway. And when you try, what you do is you build walls. And then you trap yourself. But yet, you also have the power to free yourself. That is definitely like you have to make that decision. That's an energy that divine can't cross, right? Because that was free will. So divine can make you aware of it, like make you feel a little uncomfortable in it or what have you. Or, you may start thinking maybe that is also why temperance is in the subconscious mind, because the conscious mind is kind of tied up. Or it was. Or it was. So let's go ahead and bring in the crystal vision now and let's go deeper. I keep thinking, and it's not that I want to make my reading shorter, because I really don't. But I keep thinking I should do because I could leave this just as it is, right? And how important your intentions are, and your intentions are truly manifesting. So know what you're manifesting. But my God, Pisces is like victory and success, and then here comes love and hello, wheel and judgment. Like, wow. I don't even know where I was going with this. All right. Let's start in the current energy. Get a little more information on that, please. The unknown card. And, this is your intuition. This is the high priestess. Clearly, you can see her crystal ball is clouded. Oh my God, I can't see. I feel like what this is saying is for some of you, you may not have been paying attention to your intuition. And that may have put fear in your heart. Like, I don't know what's next. And that may be scary. But I have a feeling it's about to change. Well, speaking of change, so something has come to completion. And something new is ready to open up. The past has come to completion. Now, it's up to us if we're going to allow it to come to completion. Then remember, when we do, it's like a whole new world opens up for us. And I'm not kidding for you. And I feel like whatever happens in the world's energy, because it's such a spiritual energy, it lasts probably for the rest of your life. Look at that. The wheel right next to the world. It is time. Your wheel is ready to spin. You know, the only thing of fear is the unknown card. So let's say you are having a hard time trusting your intuition. There could be a lot of external noise, and influences that just make it hard to trust yourself. And this may be part of what you've been learning, like to trust yourself, to know when something has come to completion and then allow it to come to completion. And that allows the wheel, your destiny, to spin. That allows what is next to enter. And how beautiful you have the wheel next to the world. So, whatever is happening, anything is happening next. It was destined. That means this love is destined. Doesn't guarantee us, right? Because the uncertainty may just hold us in place, may keep us in the Eight of Swords. But I feel like with judgment here, it's saying, trust us. We are sending you signs. And if you can't feel them, keep asking. Even if you're in the Eight of Swords, one of the most difficult places to pick up these signs, but not impossible. Keep asking. Keep asking. And then look at this. Hello, passion rushing in. So, it's undeniable. This is also pretty fast moving energy, but it is because of the passion. And it's coming into the reading, connected to your will. Oh, by the way, now we have these two knights. Knight of Cups brings in that cup and is telling us there's going to be a lot of passion attached to this. Sometimes we say, why can't my life be better? Why can't I find my true love? You can. And you do have to examine things. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the fives, like every 50 year, it's a good idea to stop, look around. Are things going the way I thought? Do I need to correct my course? You know what I mean? Like, analyze here and there. But the uncertainty you feel, in a way, I feel like it can't get worse. I mean, I guess it could get worse, but it feels bad. It feels like disrespectful. And of course, I'm talking about this king again. But can I say that your guides say this king is yesterday's news? Wow, I'm just blown away. I'm blown away. All right. Um, I'm thinking, did I take that over the current energy or the subconscious mind? It must be over the current energy. Wow. For some reason, I thought I did this under the subconscious mind, but I didn't. So look at that. Even more reason to show you that something has come to completion. Will you allow it? Because that literally gets your wheels spinning again. Okay, well, let's go down to Let's keep this out, but let's go down to Temperance in the subconscious mind. Seven of Pentacles, your tree of life. Oh my gosh, this feels predestined, no doubt. Look at this, the two swords in reverse. Someone just said yes. Well, first of all, someone just said no to the past and yes to the present. Seven of Pentacles, your tree of life. These pentacles are the seeds that you planted. And we should always be in the habit of always planting seeds. Because if we plant no seeds, we have no harvest. So plant those seeds. Even if you think like, I don't know if this seed can come true or not, plant it. Now, I do have a feeling that two of these seeds were predestined. This whole reading is reading like this. Like this love was always meant to happen, but at a certain time period. And why, why would divine hold back this type of love? Because there were certain lessons you were learning. There were certain lessons your soulmate was learning. And all of that was important. Maybe even more important. This love feels like it wants to come together without issue. Because it feels like it's just meant to. And I just love that the Two of Swords flipped itself around. To me, that is yes. That is you not blocking, even if you're uncertain. What else this means? If you look at this person, they have a blindfold on. How she's crossing those swords, like kind of blocking, right? It's because she doesn't want to face something. It has to be the past. I'm saying the past, it could be the present. This person may be in your present right now. And this may be what you're going back and forth about. And I'm not telling you to leave this king if you don't want to leave this king. But I would analyze it. I would. Blindfold off. I don't know if your guides could ask for anything more than that. Just the blindfold off. And the rest will just unveil itself. Okay, let's pick these up. And I want to go to the conscious mind. Something just flipped around. The devil. Devil just turned itself around in the deck. Card of Capricorn. We could also speak of temptations. Things that tempt us in the night. The devil is great at casting illusions. And I feel like for some of you, that's what happened. You got tempted to this person's energy. And, I feel like, and I hate to keep saying like narcissistic type energy, but that's what I'm feeling. And I know that type. They can be so charming. Promise you the world until they get you. It's like the chase. But you're the one who has to break that purse, so to speak, the ties that bind you. Cut those cords, and you're free. We have the Chariot and the Six of Cups, but they both came in reverse. So the Chariot, card of Cancer, Capricorn and Cancer right there, by the way. And then the Six of Cups. Nostalgia. Boy, I feel like someone wants to move back home. Someone wants to move. And I feel like fear has a grip on you. And part of that grip I feel is also the king. I get this sense of this is the type of person where I say, I'm done. I'm done. Then all of a sudden they become charming again and pull you back in again. And that may have been a repeat pattern. And I feel like some of you have a dream about moving. Some of you have stopped realizing your own potential and you bought into someone else's words, which were lies. You know, I just don't like this king because I feel like every time I find the boldness, this king pulls me back again. But here's the thing. Now that you know that, now that you know that this energy that tempts you is also causing you not to live your full potential. I feel like that chariot can turn around. And that Six of Cups can turn around. Six of Cups speaks to nostalgia. Can be someone we know. Some of you may have someone like from back in the day. Who knows? You may have just started dreaming about them and them you. But again, it all of this, like this love, definitely feels destined. But again, it does not guarantee us because we have free will. And I have a feeling that drives our guides a little mad. Like, dang that free will. If I could only get them to follow me. All right. I'm going to take one more over that because I want to see if it turns around. I don't particularly, unless it's a Capricorn for some, I don't particularly love the devil's energy over the Eight of Wands because it can be lower vibrational energy and it's over the law of attraction, so to speak. And I may have just kept bringing it back and back and back to myself. Maybe I'm waiting for someone to come in and save me. But I feel like this is the type of situation you have to save yourself. Listen, we wouldn't be doing this reading if it's impossible to do that. It's the opposite. It's like your guides want you to understand, number one, that you're a spiritual being having human experiences. And that alone can take away the power of people who try to hold us back for their own sake, not for our sake. All right, let's see what we got. Nine of Swords. Worry, worry, worry. Oh, Nine of Pentacles. And then the Hierophant. I feel like that's exactly what we needed here was the Hierophant. Now, it is the card of Taurus, but it's a 5. So it wants you to question how you're living your life. Are you living your life according to your morals, your standards, or have you lowered your vibration to meet another's? Here's that 5, where I felt like 5s is when we should really reflect. Wow. This one is about your faith, but also like, you have certain morals. You have your faith. And am I not living by that because of another? I feel like some of you may worry, like, can I create a life for myself? Because I feel like at this point, you don't know about this cup. And this is just about, this is like clearing the past, clearing the cobwebs. And I feel like some of you also have that worry of like, can I take care of myself? Well, the 9 of Pentacles answers that. Like, don't put worry behind your creative house. You're a very creative sign. You can make anything out of nothing. Know that about yourself. You can make anything out of nothing. You can create success for yourself. By the way, the meaning of the 9 of Pentacles is successful self-employment. And it is a card of Virgo, so it's interesting the 9 of Swords be attached to that, because one of the Virgo traits is overthinking. Overthinking. I feel like all this is saying is once you believe in you again, even if it's just baby steps, it's like your guides, they have your back. They just can't do anything about your free will. So I get that. It's a mixture of energy, and I feel like there's different fears, but I feel like all of that can be cleared. And I feel like the main thing is to ask yourself, do I have to lower my standards to meet this person? And I mean to meet their expectations. And what about my standards? What about the way I want my life to look and how I want love to feel? Well, sweetie, it's all possible. No, if you keep feeling tempted to a certain energy, I would try to break it down and ask yourself, does someone keep promising you the world, but then delivers none? And then you try to leave, and it's like, oh, but wait a minute, I want to give you the world. Well, how many years is that going to take? And it's a lie anyway. And the 9 of Pentacles is independent energy, and that feels important. That you feel strong. Doesn't mean you have everything worked out. Doesn't mean that you have money just flowing in left and right, but you have the ability. Like, I don't want to take that away from you because you also have victory and success. So some may say, like, I don't know what I'll do, like financially. I don't know. I just have a feeling there's something you can create, like a business for yourself. And it may have to do with, like, this very experience. If you're able to clear this energy, what a great teacher you will be. because there's other people stuck in the same type of situation. Okay, I've had enough of the past. And boy, do I even want to go to the past. I don't know. Part of me is like, nope. I have nothing, there's like nothing left to find out. But I will do one time around. I'm glad I did it now. So now we have the King of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. We saw all of them. But it doesn't have to be any of that. And I know some of you are like, why do you always do that, Sandy? Well, because I read the energy versus the sign. And here you are walking away. And this is you realizing that there is toxicity. There has been toxicity. You know, the King of Pentacles normally very loyal, but because you're walking away, there could have been an issue there also. Normally, this king is very stable, but not all of them. But what I love and why I'm glad I did look at it is you. This is you saying no more. This is you being very truthful with yourself. You know what's toxic. You know what's holding you back. You know words that are spoken are not truth, especially if it's degrading you. Like, they don't even know what they're about to lose. But so be it. So be it. Now, I want to go to this Knight of Cups. Seven of Cups. Interesting. So here you are making a choice, making a decision. And it's an emotional decision. Seven of Cups could tell you that this cup may come in on a day. It's very chaotic. And you know, it's interesting because, like, the day the Sam, or the night the Sam called me, it was one of those kind of days. And did I think that a blessing was about to happen? No, no way. Not even, no. But then it did. But then my phone rang. And I said yes. Look at this, the Ace of Swords. Beautiful. Because I feel like when you see the Ace of Swords, number one, it's your own truth, but it is real truth. Like, I mean, look at the roses growing up this sword. I feel like whatever this person is speaking, it is the truth. And it's loving. Like, I feel like they use loving words, not words that cut you. You know, it does feel like there is some things that need to be cleared that aren't quite that easy, but definitely doable. And then just look what opens up. I feel like every time we do something that was hard, but helps us evolve, I feel like there's always a blessing. And your blessing is in love. But it's not just love, it's also this independent feeling. This, even if I can't 100%, maybe I have very little money, but yet I'm standing on my own 2 feet. It won't matter to this night. The Nine of Wands in reverse over you. So we have the Five of Wands and now the Nine of Wands, but in reverse. So it's interesting. I get like we're moving forward and then we move back. So the Nine of Wands, unless you've already done this is reflecting back. But this is not reflecting back with judgment. This is really to notice how you have grown, how you have evolved through some of these most difficult situations. But you got through. You cleared. And then the wheel moved. Well, we're here again. This is like a transition in your life. And whether you do this reflection or not, it's still the truth. Like there's a lot of things that you've overcome. Don't let someone else take that power from you. Okay. We'll keep that there for a second. Nah, we don't really need it. Let's move up to the Ace of Cups. We have the Four of Cups. The Sun. Look at that. The Ace of Pentacles. Wow. So, first of all, the Four of Cups. Discontentment, boredom within one's emotional world. The Four of Cups wants you to learn to use your spiritual discernment. And why is that important right now? Because in the Four of Cups, there is a cup coming in. Dang it, this isn't a good image of it. Normally you'll see that cup coming like from the hand of divine. But it talks about using your spiritual discernment. But look at this. Then you get the Sun. Wow. So if there was uncertainty, the Sun makes it clear. The Sun is your illuminator. And how beautiful that the Sun is coming over the Ace of Cups. No shadows can hide when the Sun is out. This is not low vibrational energy. This is clear. Boy, this also makes me feel like hometown again. So if there's a few of you who have thought about moving, you may end up doing that. But it would be something that you want, that maybe you haven't done, but you've been wanting to. And I feel like once you set yourself free from this, which it's showing you doing, then I feel like whatever it is you want to do, whether it be move, the Sun is a brand new day. It is unencumbered energy. It is feeling like a kid again. It's beautiful energy. And not only that, then you get the Ace of Pentacles. Wow. We don't have the Knight of Pentacles that I spoke about in the beginning of the reading, but this is what this night brings. And this Ace of Pentacles It means something that's coming into your physical world. Well, it's over the Ace of Cups. Do I need to fear this? No, because the sun truly is your illuminator. It's also masculine energy, by the way. And what I love about this ace is this pentacle has roots. You can't really see it in this image. And to me, that means it's something that can take root, that may start as a seed, but if I nurture that seed, it will only grow and blossom. Well, we're speaking of love, but love is coming into your physical world. And again, I want to remind you, when you see the Knight of Cups, it's unexpected. So you're just doing you, the new and improved you. Well, I shouldn't say improved. Let's say the enlightened you. And you'll just be at the right place at the right time again. Like, I don't feel like you have to worry about this. I just don't. All right, let's go up to the wheel under your hopes and fears. King Wands and the Knight of Cups over the wheel. Careful, you might get what you wish for. It just might happen. Now, the King Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We saw Leo, Sagittarius, but this is someone who is action oriented. We saw the Knight of Pentacles coming in over Temperance. This king probably sent it. Because there's that Knight of Cups again. Right over the wheel again. So I feel like what this is saying is, number one, I'm just looking at this king who has tamed the lion. And the lion is the beast within us. But we can tame that. It's not getting rid of it. It's the balance of it. So it's showing this person had to also learn that, but they did. And I also feel this is saying that I just feel like it's going to be clear. Like you're going to feel it. Of course you're going to feel it, but I mean, you're going to feel it different maybe than any love you've had so far. And with the world next to the wheel, I do feel like this is your forever person. And the only reason I don't commit 100% to that is because of free will. Just like your guides can't intervene in your free will, neither can I. But look at that. All right, final outcome. Here we come. And then we'll do the romance angels. Seven of Swords. Okay. I feel like your spiritual team wants you to be aware of that. That makes sense. The Fool. And then the Six of Wands again. Victory and success. But look at you here. Standing on that mountaintop. And you also have tamed that lion. The Seven of Swords. Why would judgment want you to be aware of the Seven of Swords? Because this is untrustworthy energy. This is like the thief in the night. This is the king in the past. So I feel like it's saying, if I thought, well, maybe one more chance. I feel like your spiritual team is saying They haven't changed. You have. And remember, as you evolve, as your vibration lifts, it's natural that those with a lower vibration fade away. It's the humanness in us that pulls it back. I feel like your spiritual team is just pointing that out. Don't feel bad about letting this come to an end. There's nothing savable in this energy. It doesn't mean the person can't be saved, but they have to seek it. And I don't feel any energy of them seeking the light or to be better. I feel the opposite, like they don't think they're doing anything wrong. Okay. So then comes the fall, the leap of faith with your spiritual team right there. You know, the fool does put the past in the past. And that's what your spiritual team is saying. This is meant to be in the past. You are meant to be in this really light energy. I feel the fool is free. And I don't mean like free from people, I just mean free. Like I am free to be me. And then take that leap of faith because it's only going to bring you victory. You know, I feel like you were meant to stand on this mountaintop. You know, this king doesn't feel karmic, but maybe some of the lessons within that situation. And number one, I feel like was learning how to put yourself back in the equation. And if someone's not putting you in the equation, well, then you're moving on. I love how you're reading, you know, other than, you know, it wouldn't be real life if we didn't talk about real issues. But real life also, because again, I want to remind you that we're spiritual beings in this human body for this lifetime. And then the body's done with, the spirit goes on. And life is about learning and experiencing. And sometimes we get stuck in someone's web and we forget this is our life. This is probably not what my soul wanted. Probably didn't want to sit in this prison. I want to be free. I want to explore. I want to see what's out there for me and what and who I come across. You know, all of a sudden I feel so open. All right, romance angels, and then we'll let it be. And, you know, Pisces, I want to make it clear that I feel like for those who've been maybe worried about, like, what am I going to do? Again, I feel like there's something like there's either talent you already have, or you're receiving epiphanies, or your guides are saying, once you clear this energy, we have your back. We'll send you epiphanies, ideas. You know, we'll put you in the right place at the right time as it relates to, let's say, I'm looking for a new job. Because over and over, it's showing you in a victorious state. Wow. Hello, love. New love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. Playfulness. Well, that makes sense with the sun out. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. Have fun. Get playful. Yes, I'm talking about in love, but just in life. And then passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. I feel like we just went around the sun. We just went around the sun. I'm sitting here thinking, is there anything I want to add to this? And I feel like it spoke for itself. It really spoke for itself. So I'm going to let it be. I'm going to let it be, but wow, Pisces. Wow. And it's interesting because I'm like, what, 5 days late? But yet, I know you were meant to get this reading now. This is one of those readings where you may have to watch it more than once. By the way, I will put chapters in it. So it may just be a chapter you need to like watch one more time. Um, but it just for those who like you feel, what do I want to say? Like you feel you want to make these changes and maybe you've been fearing them. And this really is your roadmap. And yes, you do have to make some bold choices. But once you do that, you're in divine's timing now. I mean, literally, you're in divine timing now. And so be it. And so be it. I love you guys. I wish and pray that anyone is seeking this, that you find it. Don't skip some of the most important components to get there. If that Eight of Swords, if those walls don't come down, does that block this? Well, I don't know if it necessarily, well, in a way, yes, yes. And I don't say that very often, but like I'm being told yes. Why? Because you're not ready yet. And it's when you are ready. And it's like your whole spiritual team, and this is not with any pressure, by the way, but it's like they're standing by because when you move, they move in your favor. Destiny, baby. Destiny. I love you. I thank you. I'll see you next time at our table. Please leave me your comments. Like, I want to hear them. I really do. Um, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.